We'd admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 12 steps and 12 traditions. It's no coincidence that the very first step mentions powerlessness. An admission of personal powerlessness over alcohol is a cornerstone of the foundation of recovery. I've learned that I do not have the power and control I once thought I had. I am powerless over what people think about me. I'm powerless over having just missed the bus. I am powerless over how other people work or don't work, the steps. But I've also learned I am not powerless over some things. I'm not powerless over my attitudes. I'm not powerless over negativity. I'm not powerless over assuming responsibility for my own recovery. I have the power to exert a positive influence on myself, my loved ones, and the world in which I live. How to remain vigilant about recovery? First, by realizing that we have a disease we will always have. No matter how long we've been clean, no matter how much better our lives have become, no matter what the extent of our spiritual healing, we are still addicts. Our disease waits patiently, ready to spring the trap if we give it the opportunity. Vigilance is daily accomplishment. We strive to be constantly alert and ready to deal with signs of trouble, and not that we should live in irrational fear that something horrible will possess us if we drop our guard for an instant. We just take normal precautions, daily prayer, regular meeting attendance, and choosing not to compromise spiritual principles for the easier way are acts of vigilance. We take inventory as necessary, share with others whenever we are asked, and carefully nurture our recovery. Above all, we stay aware. We have a daily reprieve from our addiction as long as we remain vigilant. Each day we carry the principles of recovery in all we do, and each night we thank our higher power for another day clean. Just for a day I will be vigilant, doing everything necessary to guard my recovery. I've been waiting to do that for a while. Okay, so I have this book. My mom got it for me. She unfortunately has an enlarged heart, and her COPD is not doing too good. So, I definitely wasn't just calling wolf, you know. It's gonna be a rough time for me this year, and hopefully my mom's health gets better. But you know, if it's God's plan that I don't get to spend, well, let me reword that. If I screwed up getting to spend more time with my son and my mom, it's something I'm never gonna forget. And I think that God's plan was always for that to be the case. But the longer I enabled my brother, the harder that's become. Which is why I don't want him in my life at all anymore. Bar none. This is a book my mom got me. Proof of Heaven. A neurosurgeon's journey into the afterlife. Dr. Eben Alexander's near-death experience is the most astounding I have heard in more than 4 decades of studying this phenomenon. He is living proof of an afterlife. Raymond Moody, MD, PhD, author of Life After Life. Thousands of people have had near-death experiences, but the scientists have argued that they are impossible. Dr. Eben Alexander was one of those people. A highly trained neurosurgeon, Alexander knew that NDEs feel real but are simply fantasies produced by brains under extreme stress. Then Dr. Alexander's own brain was attacked by a rare illness, the part of the brain that controls thought and emotion, and in essence makes us human, shut down completely. For 7 days he lay in a coma. Then as his doctors considered stopping treatment, Alexander's eyes popped open. He had come back. Alexander's recovery is a medical miracle, but the real miracle of his story lies elsewhere. While his body lay in a coma, Alexander journeyed beyond this world and encountered an angelic being who guided him into the deepest realms of superphysical existence. There he met and spoke with the divine source of the universe itself. Alexander's story is not a fantasy. Before he underwent this journey, he could not reconcile his knowledge of neuroscience with any belief in heaven, God, or the soul. Today, Alexander is a doctor who believes that true health can be achieved only when we realize that God and the soul are real and that death is not at the end of a personal experience, but only a transition. This story would be remarkable no matter who it happened to. That it happened to Dr. Alexander makes it revolutionary. No scientist or person of faith will be able to ignore it. Reading it will change your life. I haven't read it yet. I haven't started it, so. I already believe in God, but I need something to hammer it in other than the Bible. I love the Word of God. I don't know. I like proof, and I guess I've been a skeptic my whole life. Maybe even playing both sides of it. When it suited me, definitely. When it suited my sin, definitely. Well, I'll fall short of the glory of God. So, that's why the covenant in Jesus makes sense to me.